Hey everyone, welcome to your reading. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for joining me. So today's reading is the person on your mind. What have they realized about you? We have 3 groups for you to choose from. Group 1, the rainbow moonstone. Group 2, the fusite crystal. And group 3, the citrine crystal. Okay, so group 1, 2, and 3. If you do want to take a moment to choose your group, go ahead, but I will see you in your reading. Hey, welcome. If you've chosen the first group, the Rainbow Moonstone, then this reading is for you. The person on your mind, what have they realized about you? Okay, so we have the Three of Swords reversed, and we also have the Page of Pentacles upright. Alright, so the person that you're asking about, it feels like they have realized that you are over a heartbreak. They've also noticed that you don't seem to be in like an overly positive or good mood or energy right now. That you're not really feeling like maybe that great or that positive. They do, even though they do think you are over a heartbreak or a loss or, something hurtful that may have happened in the past, they still feel like, that you still could be affected by it, even though you're over it. For a lot of you here, they do think you are still reeling from a third party situation. It doesn't have to be affair or cheating. For some of you, it could be. But this was a situation that involved more than 2 people. And they do feel like you are still kind of, feeling the effects from it. It's like, say, for example, even though you're over someone, possibly, cheating on you, even though you're over it, like maybe you're not ready to get into another relationship, so they could still think you're still being affected in some way, even though you are over it. But in terms of this third party situation or in terms of a past situation, they kind of realize or feel that the situation messed with your head and it hurt you and it confused you. In their opinion, they've realized that again, in their opinion, like drama or chaos, even though that may not be the truth for a lot of you. But they have noticed that you find yourself tangled in these very complicated situations. They've also realized that you are healing from a loss or the past, possibly a traumatic event. And let me see. They also think you have learned from these situations as well. But they have noticed how spiritual you are and that you're kind of just growing as a person, or you're at least trying to grow, whether this be in terms of your personal life, mental health, career, family, but they do realize you are trying to grow. For some of you, this is someone who may have discouraged you from getting help with your health, whether it be mental health or physical health, or maybe just talking to someone. Maybe they discouraged you from talking to someone, being open about how you're feeling, maybe seeing a therapist. But they realize now that they were wrong to discourage you from opening up about how you were feeling, about seeing someone, maybe taking something that you were going through or taking something that you were feeling seriously. They regret not taking it seriously now. And it feels like they realize now that they were wrong and that you needed to see someone, possibly a therapist. And even if this is someone who didn't discourage you, or this is someone who didn't take you seriously, it feels like they realize now that you should be seeing someone. Let me see. But I have to say, this message does feel like it's mainly for people who were discouraged from being open or talking to someone, maybe seeing a mental health professional, you know. But they have noticed that you are recovering from any health issues, whether it be mental or physical. They've realized that you don't want to get caught up in a third party situation. You don't want to get caught up in another complicated situation. Whereas in the past, they thought that you were less concerned about that stuff, kind of getting caught up in complicated situations, maybe kind of getting involved in, you know, other people's situations and what they have going on. For some of you, this could even be referring to like third parties and like seeing people who are in relationships. So yeah, they definitely kind of realize or think that you are more concerned about that stuff now. So they've also realized that they do want to reconcile with you. They do want to get on good terms with you. You know, they do think that you could be feeling regretful over something that you did in the past. This could be in terms of maybe you choosing your independence, being independent, maybe putting yourself first. For some of you, this is referring to breaking up someone's family, maybe your own family. Again, like this doesn't really have to be about an affair, but if it is, then that's probably the message for you. But again, like if affair is like no, then yeah, it's probably about something else. But yeah, they could also think you're feeling regretful over something that you are more aware of. But they have noticed that you are very strong, you are very resilient as well. But they have noticed that you've changed a lot. You know, they see you being in a better place, a better mindset. You've just really matured in their eyes, and you know, they've realized that you are less emotional now and more independent. So they've also realized that they want or need to share some good news with you. And for some of you, they want to share a blessing with you or a gift. But for a lot of you, this could actually be the other way around. And they've noticed that you are in a good place, that maybe you've received good news, or you've experienced some type of growth, whether it be material growth or financial, and it feels like they want to be a part of it. So yeah, they realize that you want or wanted a fresh start. It could be referring to the past. And for a lot of you, they've noticed that you've managed to get that fresh start for yourself, you know, and a plan you've had is starting to manifest, or it has manifested for you. So they have realized that you are setting and achieving certain goals for yourself. You know, they did feel like you didn't have the strongest foundation in the past, either because of them or for other reasons. But now they've realized that you do have a lot of potential. And even if you don't have that strong foundation yet, well, at least in their opinion, you could already have that stronger foundation, but they may not know about it. Let me see. They do think you are headed in that direction. What have they realized about you? Okay, so we have casual. So it feels like for a lot of you, they've actually realized that you're not high maintenance. Maybe they felt like you were in the past, but they realized that you weren't. Oh, we also have mean. What have they realized? So they've also realized that you can be kind of harsh. Maybe they didn't fully acknowledge or realize that in the past, but they have now. For some of you, they do think you can be mean or are mean, but yeah. We also have fair. So they either realize that you're just a fair person in general, or they've realized that you were trying to be fair. And again, like this does feel like it is referring to the past. And it does feel like it is referring to them as well. We also have rebellious. So they've also realized that you are rebellious. We also have anxious. So they realize that either you are anxious or that you were anxious about them. And this could be referring to them. And it feels like even though they may not have done something about you feeling anxious, it feels like they did actually realize that you were feeling anxious or feeling troubled in some way. But it doesn't really feel like they regret not doing anything about it. We have make better choices. And we also have you are the best thing that ever happened to you. So they've realized that you are taking control over your life. I just realized the Justice card fell out and I was looking at it. I was like, where did that come from? But let me see. So yeah, in regards to making better choices, this feels like it is referring to your past. Like in the past that you came to a point where you decided, okay, let me make better choices, let me make better, like healthier choices for myself. And that's something that they have realized about you. We also have you are the best thing that ever happened to you. So they've realized that you are taking control of your life, or again, like there was a point in the past where you decided and you were very definitive when it came to taking control over your life. And they realized that you were the best thing that happened to you, and you know that you have control over yourself and you know your actions and stuff like that. We also have easy does it. Your health, happiness, and abundance require a gentle approach to life and work. Okay, I'll do that one after. So we have, we realize. So it feels like they do need to be, they've realized that they need to be gentler when it comes to you. That they need to take a calmer approach when it comes to you as well. Like not heavy, or maybe very little pressure. We also have purification and detoxification. It's time to release physical and energetic toxins from your life. So they have realized that you have detoxed your life, maybe even your body for some of you. But they realize that you are healthier, or that you are making healthier decisions for yourself. And, you know, when it comes to the past, letting go of things that aren't healthy for you, that aren't good for you, that can be toxic. So we have Doctor, Heal Thyself, and Cat also came out. So I've realized in each of these cards, like 2 blue cards, 2 purple, 2 orange, like, I don't know, it feels like they've realized that you have this balance within yourself now. It's like, you know, both your sides are balanced, or I don't know, let me see. And the 2 of Pentacles just fell out. So yeah, I feel like it is referring to your balance. They definitely realize that you have found that balance within yourself. So anyways, we have Doctor, and it says heal thyself. So they have realized that you are healing. You have healed with the 3 of Swords in reverse as well. Oh, okay. For a lot of you here, actually, they've realized that they need to heal, that they need to do some work on themselves. Or you've encouraged them to take their health more seriously, whether this is their physical health or their mental health. We also have Cat, take care of yourself. Trust that if you do, you will land on your feet. So they've realized that you did taking care of yourself and your health into your own hands. And because you did that, because you took that control over yourself, you managed to land on your feet, you know, and that you are in a better place now because you did decide to take care of yourself. But yeah, do you have any more from this card? All right, so yeah, that is what I have though for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could resonate and be helpful, but I am wishing you all the best. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye. Hi, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the second group, the Fuchsite Crystal, then this reading is for you. Alright, so we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and we also have the King of Pentacles in reverse. What have they realized about you? So it feels like they've realized, in their opinion, that you aren't as mature as you present to be. For some of you, this may not have anything to do with maturity. It could be into like they've realized that you're not as established as you present to be. But I have to say, like, they don't necessarily think you're immature either. They've noticed that you don't want a traditional relationship, a traditional marriage, maybe a traditional life, that you're not really a traditional person. For some of you, it's just that they've realized, or they've noticed, that you don't want to be in a relationship where the other person has all of the control. They realize as well that you don't have a steady or calm environment in their perspective. Um, but again, not necessarily that you have a chaotic environment either. But they have noticed that things aren't really easy for you right now, especially if any of you are single parents. And, again, in their opinion, they've realized that you don't make the best financial decisions. This could be due to like debt, or maybe you've lost something because of a financial decision you made. And they've noticed that, again, in their opinion, that you are in survival mode, that you are trying to survive right now. But they also kind of feel that you are trying your best to overcome a challenge or just ride the wave, and kind of just see this period through. So, they have realized that you are kind of saving your money or kind of holding on to your money and your wealth, not because you're selfish or anything, but because you could be facing uncertain times. So that's why they feel like you are hoarding your money. Um, they do think you changed unexpectedly, or things changed for you unexpectedly out of nowhere, and they assume that you feel lost, or it's something that they have realized. They've also noticed that things between you both may be short term, or it was short term, or very short lived. And this may not be related, but they do think you are focused on regaining stability, and they've also noticed that you may want a partner with wealth, someone who does have the ability to look after you. So, again, in their opinion, they have realized that you can be materialistic. This doesn't really feel like in all aspects of your life, though, if I'm being honest. Like, they've realized that they don't like your relationship with certain material stuff, but they feel like they've noticed that you both aren't compatible or on the same page, maybe when it comes to like certain important, things in life. So they do kind of feel like you care a lot about how other people perceive you and how other people, see you. They also think that you're fighting with a family member right now. They've noticed that you're not grounded, again, in their opinion. And they've also noticed that you are disappointed with them. So, in their opinion, they've realized that you do have this false image that you present to other people, or in certain environments, or maybe even with them. But this could be that you have this false image of yourself. And, again, in their opinion, they've realized that you aren't very kind. And, again, they do think you need to be more focused on work. And for a lot of you, this could be a lot of assumptions, you know, especially if this person doesn't know you that well, or you guys aren't that close. So again, like this could all be a lot of assumptions that they have. But in their opinion, they feel like they've noticed that you can be underhanded, you know. And both of these cards refer to like bankruptcy in a way. And I know that's not for everyone, but for some of you, that's something that they do think may be a reality for you, or will be a reality for you if better decisions aren't made. So they've also realized that you aren't loyal to them, but also other people in your life. And yeah, they've realized that you both are better off not being in each other's lives long term, or that you couldn't be in each other's lives long term. So we have intelligent. So they've realized that you are very smart, that you are really intelligent. We also have attentive. So they've also realized that you are very attentive, nurturing, and caring. And again, I don't know if this is towards them, but it could be towards a specific person in your life, like maybe family or friends, or, you know, if you are a parent, maybe towards your kid. So we also have conservative. I don't know if I'm getting like two different messages of this group. It's either they realize that you're not as conservative as you may present to be. For others of you, it's the other way around, whereas you are more conservative than you present to be. We also have worried. So they've realized that you are quite worried about something right now, in a worried type of energy. We also have mean. So they've realized that you aren't the friendliest, that you can be kind of mean. I don't know, let me see, is it towards them? Yeah, it could be towards them. Not necessarily in general though. What have you realized about you? We also have you are loved. And we also have drop the ego. So they have realized that you do wear a mask at times. Maybe that you try to hide certain things, maybe certain things that you are going through. For some of you, they've realized that you maybe find it difficult to be vulnerable, or maybe when it just comes to them. And we also have you are loved. So they've actually realized that they did have love for you, but this does feel like it is referring to the past. And they may have realized as well that you don't have a lot of love right now, maybe a lot of love and support, or just people in your corner. Okay, I feel like all of those cards want to come out, so. Okay, I'll put that here. We have busy times and multitasking. So yeah, they realize that you're either really busy right now, that you have a lot on your plate, that there's a lot going on for you. So if you have been really busy, like say for example, this is someone that has been trying to contact you or whatever, they kind of realize that there is a lot of things going on that they may not be aware of that is kind of causing you to be busy. We also have let yourself feel all of your emotions. So they have realized that you do find it hard to be vulnerable. And again, this may not be in general, but maybe when it comes to them specifically. And we also have deep emotional healing. So they've also realized that they're healing because of you. I mean, for some of you, this could be that they're healing from something that has, gone on between the two of you. But for some of you, maybe you've just encouraged them to heal from something. So we also have child, give yourself permission to play. So what they've realized is that you may need more fun in your life, that you need to give yourself time or permission to kind of just relax and, play, have fun. And we also have flood, express the ocean of your emotion. So they've actually realized that they do need to express to you how they really feel. And this doesn't really feel like they need to express how they really feel about you. It feels like a situation that you may or may not be aware of, something that's going on in their life or how they feel about someone else, for example. Or a situation, and they feel like they need to kind of be open and kind of be honest and express themselves to you about something. But yeah, that is all I have though for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful, but I am wishing you the best. All right, take care. Hi, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the citrine, then this reading is for you. What have they realized about you? Alright, so we have the Five of Pentacles upright and we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So they've actually realized that there has been a negative change in the dynamic between the two of you. This could actually be referring to the past and something happened, like there was a negative change and they feel like it hasn't changed and it won't change. They've realized that they aren't really willing to be the one who makes that change, and they feel like you aren't really going to take that step either. They have realized that you weren't trying to trick them. It feels like in the past they felt like you were trying to deceive them, possibly trying to hide something from them. Why did they deceive you about what? For some of you, this could be related to money, finances, and they felt like you were trying to trick them for some reason. But they realized that you weren't, in fact, trying to deceive them. It could be in regards to something else as well. And yeah, it could be different for everyone. But they have realized that you were going through financial stress. And again, like this doesn't really feel like it's referring to now, but in the past. But they acknowledge that could be a reason why you may have been distant from them. And it feels like they notice now that you may have needed their help. And it does feel like on some level they regret not being able to help you. But this isn't like a heavy regret that they feel. They've also noticed that you are in a better place now. And they realize that they may have been the cause of the negative changes between the both of you. And it feels like they do and they don't regret this. But they do acknowledge that you have faced like your fair share of challenges, your fair share of blocks and adversity. It feels like they've realized that you were going through some heavy things in the past that they didn't acknowledge or that they didn't notice. And they kind of feel like ultimately that has created maybe a separation or distance between the two of you. It just feels like in the past they didn't, acknowledge that you were feeling drained, which they do realize now that you were just feeling drained. And it feels like they realize this now because they're going through their own troubles. And this could sound a bit harsh, but for some of you, this person thinks that they disgust you. They think that you kind of look at them and just you don't have positive feelings towards them right now. Like they feel like you just don't really like them anymore, and they do also feel like there's nothing that they can really do to turn things around either. They have noticed that your struggles are over. And they've also realized that all you wanted was honesty from them, transparency as well. And they realize now that you saw through their dishonesty, or for some of you, I don't know if this is outright dishonesty, but it could be, negative intentions, dishonest intentions, and they kind of realize that you did see through that. They kind of feel like they can't get anything past you, and they regret not realizing that sooner, that you are very aware of certain things and that you are very aware of like manipulation, or when people don't have the best intentions towards you. But it feels like even though they may have some regret, so it feels like they've actually realized that they shouldn't have tried to use you in some way. But it feels like they still struggle to take accountability for that part of, maybe a downfall in your relationship. Or they kind of realize that their lack of accountability, referring to the past, has bitten them on the behind. They notice that you see through fake people, this is not necessarily referring to themselves though. All right, so we have modest. So they realize that you are a very modest person. Like they realize that you are someone who doesn't like to show off. I don't know, humble doesn't really feel like the right word. We also have self-confident. So they've actually realized that you're more confident than they thought initially, or than they realized you were. Do you have more from this? We have subservient. For some of you, they've realized that you do like to follow other people's lead. They've realized that you're just quite a chill person. We also have philosophical. So they've also realized that you are quite philosophical, or that you live your life by a certain philosophy and that it kind of works for you. We also have versatile. They've also realized that you are a very dynamic person, that there are a lot of layers to you, that you are very versatile, whether this is in terms of your appearance, in terms of your talents, in terms of the skills that you have, your personality, that there are a lot of layers to you, and they have realized that. So we have shit is going down with your job. What have they realized about you? We have stop talking, and this is, that came out as well. So for some of you, they have realized that you were going through difficulties at work, some challenges in terms of your job or in terms of your finances, some type of financial stress. And they do realize that kind of impacted how you showed up in terms of your relationship or your friendship with them. So they do realize that they do feel some regret and some guilt where you're concerned. But they have realized that you don't actually feel that way. Do they think you should feel that way? They don't think you should feel that way either, actually. But they realize that you don't have any shame or guilt in terms of them or your relationship with them. And we also have stop talking, shut your mouth and listen. So it feels like a lot of you here, they've realized that you don't have anything to say when it comes to them. So we have guide, following the footprints of greatness. And we also have purse, wallet, follow your true wealth, pursue your true wealth. So it feels like they've realized that you are divinely guided, that you are living by a certain philosophy, and that is helping you in a positive way or move in a positive direction. So yeah, they do kind of realize you are following good guidance, or you have been given good guidance. And this could be from someone in your life. It could be, you know, spiritual guidance. So it feels like they've realized now that you are in a better space financially, that you are, that was clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. So they realized that you are, yeah, in a better space financially, or you are well off. So for some of you, maybe you were never experiencing financial stress, and that's just something that they, you know, that they perceived. But they realize now that you weren't actually, you know, experiencing that financial stress that they thought you were. So we also have unnecessary worries. So it says, release the burden of worries by giving them to God for healing and solutions. So they realize that you are releasing certain burdens that you may have had in the past. Oh look, it says citrine and you picked the citrine crystal as well. What have they realized about you? We also have life-changing epiphany or experience. I just noticed the sword in that. So it's like kind of like the Ace of Swords energy. So they've realized that you did have this change in perspective, that you did have this life-changing epiphany or realization, either about them, it could be about life in general, although it does feel like it, in their perspective, it is about them, that you have realized something about them, and you know, you don't want to continue with them, or they're not someone that you want to have in their life. You know, even if you don't feel like that, that's how they assume you feel. But yeah, they have realized that you have experienced this victory, and that you have, you know, experienced this positive change in your mindset as well. Do you have more from this card? So they've also realized that you are very blessed too. But anyways, that is all I have though for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it can be helpful, but I'm wishing you the best, alright? Take care.